Welcome to the New Age Startup Podcast, your deep dive into the dynamic world of young entrepreneurs, cutting edge technology, and inspiring stories. I'm your host, Sam Moegenburg, and every 2 weeks we'll explore the inspiring stories, innovative strategies, and bold visions that are shaping the future of business and lifestyle. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or a tech enthusiast, or just someone who loves a good success story, this is the podcast for you. In this episode, I'm talking with Larry Flores, the young and dynamic founder of Surf Trip Supply. At just 18 years old, Larry has already made a wave in the world of surf-inspired fashion, right from the heart of Huntington Beach, California. We'll be talking about his journey from a local beach kid to an up-and-coming entrepreneur, the ups and downs of starting a business, and what the future holds for his brand. Welcome, Larry. I'm so stoked to have you on.
Dude, thank you, Sam. Stoked as well.
So tell me a little bit about growing up in California and what originally got you interested in surfing.
I grew up in Yorba Linda, which is super inland, pretty much my entire life. And then it wasn't until 4 or 5 years ago that I moved to Huntington. But pretty much the year before I moved, I totally got into surfing. My cousins, they actually got me into it because my uncle surfs. Pretty much all my cousins surf, so I would always watch them surf, and I'm like, dude, I want to do that. So they eventually got me in the water, pushed me in some waves, and then pretty much after my first wave, I was hooked. And then, yeah, then ever since I moved to Huntington, it's literally been like a dream, like a kid in a candy store, because the wave minutes away. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel that. I've always been I'm from Wisconsin, so we don't really do surfing much. There's a little bit on the Great Lakes, but it's nothing compared to California surfing or anywhere else. But so I've always been super interested in surfing, but didn't have the chance until I moved out to California. So since then I've been obsessed with it. But so did you always know you wanted to have a clothing company, or what kind of led you to creating Surf Trip, and how did that kind of start?
So clothing, that wasn't really a dream, I guess. So I was pretty much always an entrepreneur. I've always I started off selling shoes, and I started selling Supreme. I remember waking up Thursdays at 7 a.m. On the way to school, I'd make my dad pull over on the side of the road, and I'd basically try to get the Supreme, and then I'd resell it. So I did that for 3-4 years, and then I started that. No, it was probably 2 years. I started that probably when I was 12, and then yeah, so I was doing that for a little bit, but I was kind of stupid. I blew all my profits on just buying random stupid stuff. But yeah, so basically clothing hit. I was okay, this could work after I started just drawing. And initially I didn't make it for other people. I didn't think it would be I could never have imagined it to be as big as it is now. I just wanted to make some shirts. I just wanted to wear my stuff, wear my products, and yeah, put the designs on tees, and yeah, so that's what I did.
That's awesome, man. Initially, a lot of kids or young adults that want to start clothing companies or other different types of companies don't really know how to start. I have a lot of friends from back home that tell me all these great ideas they have, and they're oh, I want to start this company, but can you help me? I don't know even how to start this at all. So I guess, what was your sort of initial concept for Surf Trip Supply, and what were some of those first steps you took in making that a reality?
So I mean, the first concept, it was basically okay, I like these designs. I wouldn't even consider myself an artist. Back then, I could barely draw. I was okay, I like that. I'd wear that, so I'm gonna figure out how to do it. And then I sat down. I told my parents about the idea first, and go for it, sick idea. And they're okay, but not giving you anything. Basically, you're on your own for this. If you want to do it, go do it. They didn't give me any money, nothing like that. So I literally spent probably over 6 months watching YouTube, because this was during COVID. I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
So I was just watching YouTube videos on it all day long, on Shopify, on starting a business, on clothing brands, on blanks, how to find a manufacturer, how to what's the difference, different embroidery styles, different types of printing, all the little details. I pretty much just mastered it in 6 months. I didn't leave my room for 6 months, pretty much. So yeah, a lot of YouTube.
I just looked recently. Surf Trip Supply has over 50,000 followers on Instagram and over 170,000 followers on TikTok. So, how's social media kind of played a role in starting the company and how the company is doing right now?
Basically, the reason why Surf Trip blew up like so fast is, well, first because like I think God was like guiding me, but also like I figured out how social media worked. Like most people, they'll just like post and post and like, oh, okay, it didn't get views, like, and then that's it. I
Yeah.
figured out what's working, what's not. I pretty much studied the algorithm and all the little details in the videos, like because the hook, like I learned it's the first 0.05 second that is the determining factor to whether somebody stays or scrolls. So I pretty much learned how to hook people, and that literally blew everything up. Like as long as you have a good hook, something engaging, then people will stay, and those people can convert to customers. So yeah, social media blew up Surf Trip like crazy.
So I know I saw a video like you shared on social media a while ago that like a year into starting Surf Trip, maybe it wasn't going as well as you'd hoped, and you were kind of on the verge of quitting. And then, I mean, now you have like celebrities, and you've got your clothing and like Outer Banks and all types of stuff now. And so, what kind of kept you going, and like what did you kind of learn from persevering through that?
I mean, I think that was a very like that. It was like a switch in my brain, like short term gratification. Like, okay, I'm not seeing any sales. Like literally, it was probably like a year and a half, almost two, just no sales. Like I I would go months with like literally like two orders, and if that. And I was like, dude, like this sucks. Like I'm working day in and day out. Like I'm in school making videos. I'm in school designing products. I'm middle of class, sending out emails, like literally working in my class, all my classes. And I just, something just in me just told me to keep going. Like, cause I knew I had something here and I knew like nobody else is doing something like this. So if I'm the one
Mhm.
doing it, like there's probably something to it, you know? But yeah, no, there's so many times I was like, screw this. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm working too hard for this. And yeah, but basically I just kept going and I just didn't stop because I knew there was an end goal, and that goal was just get more people to wear my stuff. And I know if today 10 people are wearing it, tomorrow I can get 15, next day 20, and so on. But yeah, just kept pushing no matter what.
That's a good outlook. I mean, yeah, perseverance is powerful. So, I mean, congrats. Obviously, that's awesome. So, like in kind of in like the very beginning, and actually starting the company, whether it was like filing for a company or getting models or whatever it may be, what do you think was kind of the hardest things in the very beginning, and how did you overcome that?
I think going viral was pretty much the hardest part because I knew like I had like two avenues to go. One, I could do low and slow, like I make my products, I'll post on Instagram, like post on TikTok, get 100 views a video, like I'll be doing this for 10 years and hope to get the amount like and hope to get like one sale a day, two sales a day, something like that. But
Yeah.
I pretty much I kind of took the other path. I was like, okay, if this is going to work, I need to figure out how to go viral and I need to do it now. So that's when I started. I pretty much shifted, instead of marketing my brand, I started marketing myself because I heard this quote, I forgot who said this, but people buy from people they like, and that's pretty much what I based my business around. You know, if if the fans and customers, if they like the person who's selling to them, it doesn't even feel like they're being sold. It feels like, yeah, like no brain. It's a no brainer. So yeah, that's honestly the biggest thing, going viral and marketing myself and like making a lifestyle out of it, not just a T-shirt.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think, especially now, at least I've seen there's so many kids. Like, I'm not exactly sure what they're doing because I don't have a clothing line, but like, there's so many things on like TikTok and Instagram now where like they're using this AI voice. They're like, oh, check out my clothing line. Like, you don't even get to see it, but it's gonna be so hype. Like,
Yeah,
just sign up for the drop and like buy it because you'll love it. But like, I think there's something like really impactful about the way you've gone about it, building a community. And like you said, like once you kind of build this community, like it sells itself because there's an actual meaning and impact behind what you're buying and what you're wearing, and so yeah, I mean that's really cool.
Thank
Um,
you.
what are some of the key kind of takeaways or lessons you learned from that like initial phase of starting social media and getting your first sales?
I think I kind of drilled in my head, if I don't quit, I won't fail. Because if I continue to do the same thing over and over and over again, I'll see some results, and if I don't, then I can just pivot. But yeah, like as cliche as it sounds, literally just don't quit, and it's impossible to fail. Like that's it. And dude, honestly, the biggest thing is just trusting in God, because like I'll be like sitting there, I'll be like praying before I like design. Like that's how like honest to God, that's how like the charcuterie design with like the embroidery. I was
Yeah,
like, what else can I add to this? Like what else can I do? And that just like popped in my mind right after I prayed. So I was like, huh. And then I sold out in 2 minutes. So
that's crazy. It's so awesome. How have kind of these experiences shaped your path in entrepreneurship? How is it maybe different than, the next clothing designer?
I mean, I create things that I would wear. Like I started doing that from the beginning. Like Rick Ruben said, uh, don't quote me on this, something like that. Um, he said, don't like he's never created something for the audience. He's always put his taste first, because I mean the audience follows you for a reason, so
Mhm.
they will buy because you're making stuff that you would wear, and they would wear what you would wear. If that makes sense. So a lot of clothing brands focus so much on not only the marketing, but they focus so much on, I don't know if this group of people is going to wear this. Like there's 60% girls, 40% guys. Like I don't know if the guys are going to like this or this or that. I just ignore all those numbers, and I'm just like, okay, I'll wear this. I'm gonna make it. Like this shirt. Like purple tee. I don't really I Before I wouldn't like wear purple. Like it's not really one of my colors, but then I was like, you know what, that looks sick on me. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna sell it. And now girls and guys are wearing it. So it's, yeah, pretty much just make things for yourself, and anybody else that follows you and is looking up to you, they'll like it as well. But another thing, people spend so much time on marketing. Like they'll put everything into marketing and ignore the product. Like I see that so much with clothing brands nowadays. Like they'll put the hearts or butterflies or like the Arabic text like all over their hoodies. Look, as every
Yeah.
other brand, and they don't put their heart and soul into it, because like to me it's art. Like I'm making art for myself, and I can sell it to whoever wants to buy it, whoever has the same taste. So yeah, I basically put all my eggs in the basket of products, and in the marketing, like the videos will go viral if the product's good. Like it just
Hmm.
happens. There is strategy to it, like I said, the hook, but yeah, like literally just make a good product, and it'll sell.
Do you have any sort of insights for other teenagers or young adults that may be wanting to start companies, not necessarily clothing companies, maybe something else, but like just some insights that you've kind of learned from your process and how that might apply to like, other young adults that want to start their own companies?
I think one, put God first, and then two, you don't have to be perfect to start. Like while I spent the 6 months on YouTube, I wasn't just sitting there not doing anything. I was there building my Shopify store. I was looking for manufacturers. I was calling printers. I was working alongside my like pursuit of knowledge. And a lot of people think they have to know everything. They have to read all these books before they can start. They have to listen to the YouTube videos and watch all these things. But like in reality, you got to fail forward. Like obviously you're gonna fail. You're gonna screw up. Like the amount of mistakes I made, oh my gosh. But like I've been scammed so many times by like manufacturers, by influencers, by all these things, all these people, there's so many things that go wrong. But as long as you learn from it and really fail forward and understand what failing forward is, it's going to be pretty hard to like to end up with no progress or no results, because you just got to learn, like, as simple as it is, you got to learn from your mistakes. And if you look at that from like a greater perspective, all of those little mistakes are the key elements to building not only yourself and like your character, but building your brand and building your personal brand, because that's what defines you, you know, not your mistakes, but how you overcome and move on from your mistakes.
Definitely, yeah. So you have been managing this business. I know, like initially you were kind of packing orders out of your garage, and so like, what sort of tips do you have for other young adults in terms of managing businesses at a young age?
I think a lot of people will like jump ahead and be like, I need a warehouse, I don't have employees, this and that. But like, I'm still packing orders in my garage. Like, my parents help me now. Like, literally yesterday, I started packing orders, all the Sherpa jacket orders. 11 a.m. I didn't finish till 7 p.m. I was in there like all day long. Luckily, my friend came over and helped, but all day long packing orders. Like, you gotta make do with what you got. And like, thankfully, like, I live at home. Like, my parents, they feed me and stuff, so like there's less like expenses for that, and they're willing to help me. Like, at the beginning, they didn't help me like at all with anything because it was like so small. But now, like, they'll see me in the garage and like, dude, like, I got school tomorrow. Like, I need some help. So they pretty much have taken over packing orders and customer service. But yeah, like, don't be afraid to ask your friends or family for help. That's like, yeah, make do with what you got.
You've had these low points and high points, and uh, I'm sure that'll continue to happen. And so, like, how does this passion and resilience? How important is that to being an entrepreneur for you?
I think that is what makes an entrepreneur an entrepreneur. Because, like, to me, I've always had like a delusional drive of like, I'm gonna succeed no matter what. I'm gonna reach this amount in sales. Like, even when I'm doing like back then when I'm getting an order a day, if that, I'm telling myself all the time, I'm gonna get the 1,000 order day. I'm gonna get the $1 million day. Like, all, and I haven't hit the $1 million day yet, but in my mind,
Soon.
I'm always telling myself like, you're gonna do these things. Like I said, if I don't quit, I won't fail, and I'm gonna keep on hitting these high goals. And a lot of people, like, I think if people don't look at you like you're crazy with your goals aren't high enough. Because say I
Definitely.
miss the $1 million day, but I hit the $500,000 day, that's like, holy crap. That's most people would call me crazy for even thinking about that. So you got to be obsessed, one, and kind of delusional with your goals and your work. And like, I sound like a crazy person talking about my goals, and like I'm trying to get Surf Trip the biggest surf beach brand out there. I'm trying to surpass Billabong. I'm trying to like get bigger than Rip Curl, brands like that. And when I tell people that, they're like, "Oh, okay, like, good luck." But down, I know something great is gonna come of it. So just don't stop.
That's good. That's good, man. Yeah, I've started several companies, not in fashion or anything like that, but uh, I feel that similar kind of journey. A lot of people just look at you like you're crazy when you say stuff, and that's like part of what drives me. So I'm like, you know what, like, keep telling me that, because when I prove you wrong, like, what's next for Surf Trip Supply? Like, any new collections or collaborations? Like, what can we look out for? As much as you're able to tell.
So I'm doing a 3-year anniversary party, probably during spring break, and I'm trying. You know the band Sunroom? They're like a big,
I don't know if I do.
huge beach brand, like mainly like teenagers. Um,
Okay.
I'm trying to get them booked. I'm talking to their manager right now. Pretty much like a huge renting out a huge venue. Nothing's like set in stone yet, but this is what I want to do. But yeah, I got 2 new Sherpa styles coming. I got shorts. I got button ups. I got tons of new tees, new hats. I probably have like 30 new products on the way. So
That's sweet.
got a lot of new stuff coming. Just keeping me busy for sure. Been designing a lot.
That's awesome. What would you say are like some of your longer term goals for Surf Trip Supply?
I mean, I think just growing year over year, like every year I've grown almost like 300%. So I hope to keep that going. And then I hope to sell it at the end. Like I'd say within the next 10 years, I want to do a big exit and move on to the next company. And then, yeah, hopefully by then, I want to start some sort of sunscreen company because all of the sunscreens, the amount of like cancer causing chemicals in them are like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it annoys me because Sunbum, you know Sunbum, it's like the big beach
Yep.
sunscreen. They market that as like, oh, like all the surfers need it, this and that. But like that's so bad for you. It's like unbelievably bad for you. So I want to make a sunscreen for surfers by surfers, you know? And
That's awesome.
yeah, that's my future goal. Yeah.
Well, I'll look out for it.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. All right, so that wraps up our conversation with Larry Flores, the inspiring young mind behind Surf Trip Supply. It's been awesome learning about how you turned your passion for surfing into a successful brand. Huge thank you to you, Larry, for joining us and sharing your insights and experiences. So, can you tell the listeners where they can go check out your brand and everything you're doing so they don't miss out?
Yeah, of course, bro. You guys can check out our Instagram. It's at Surf Trip Shop. And then our website is surftripsupply.com. And you guys can all use the code SAM20 for 20% off your first order.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. Sweet.
All right. Thank you guys.